Dear students and participants for this Managing Industry 4.0 course. Now we are entering in the 5th week, first session. Theme of this week is best practices of digital infrastructure and security for successful deployment of Industry 4.0 systems. It is the most critical part of Industry 4.0 system that we should have a suitable digital infrastructure, and also we should have well structured compliance with the national policy, our cyber security system as well as. We will be covering a gamut of topic, and we will be referring global best practices, that reference architecture of global best practices. In this whole week, we will have 4 to 5 sessions covering topics such as reference architecture for Industry 4.0, discussion on layers of Industry 4.0 infrastructure such as user interface, integration strategies using API and microservices, API service platform, applications and data layer, data management and integration. Then very important, which is quite different from other kind of architecture, OT-IT and integration and physical layer, how the physical layer connect with the OT-IT system. And in the end, we will discuss about some of the considerations to secure our this infrastructure with the cyber security policies and also AI policies. Quite exhaustive agenda of this week. I will suggest please go through the presentation and also go through the notes which we will be uploading on the site. It will give you a fairly good idea about this subject. You are seeing this picture again and again, where we have given a scenario of Industry 4.0 kind of technologies which are being in use for setting off this automation for quality, safety and productivity in this factory. You will see that quite a few software systems, applications and software systems will be required to implement automation to improve quality, safety and productivity. Now question comes that is there any architecture which we should use to connect, to use, to interface, interconnect or interact between these systems? Is there any architecture available which give us a comprehensive view of infrastructure? In that respect, as per my study, I found a very suitable architecture, reference architecture of McKinsey. McKinsey has published few months back a paper announcing the technology bone, and there they discuss about this architecture which you are seeing over here. This architecture is quite comprehensive. Let me explain you the layers of this architecture one by one. The bottom layer is the OT, operation technology. Basically, it addressed to the devices, systems, hardware, that PLCs, SCADA systems, which are the baseline of any industry solution or industry framework. That from where the data is emerging, data which are all these equipments are responsible for production, production in the factory environment, if we consider factory as an environment. Then we have information technology, IT, OT, gateways. Briefly, we have touch about Internet IoT platform. If you remember in the second week, where we discussed the need of IoT platform. But in this session, we will see quite a few good practicals in the fourth session of this week, where you will find that how IoT systems are being used in the live situations, so that you have a clear idea about IoT platform. Then we are seeing a layer of data management. Data management layer is also a very important layer which govern the data, how the data has to be stored, whether in the data lakes or databases, what kind of streaming policies are there, is there any data leak is there, So all those considerations come under this layer, what kind of system we should have, whether we should have the cloud-based systems, or we should have in-house systems, and this will decide that data-driven initiatives. If we don't have proper data management system as one of the important layer, it becomes very difficult to have a data-driven kind of systems. Or data-driven enterprise, we sometimes call it data-driven factory, we call it. It is very difficult. Then we have a layer of applications. Though it is in this picture they have shown quite only a very selected applications, but applications can be a number of kind of applications. Like BI is one of the important applications, business intelligence. Analytics is another very important applications. Every solutions require the implementation of analytics. Both kind of analytics, big data analytics like machine ML based analytics, and as well as now AI based analytics. So that is also a very important part of the applications. We will be studying that. Then we have integration considerations. Integration considerations are this is where that this architecture differ from the conventional architectures. Where we used to have the integration approach using the point-to-point integration or SOA kind of architecture, or we used to have that enterprise bus architecture for connectivity. Now more or less companies are using API management layer, API gateways or API as a service also. Now API as a service has emerged in a very big manner, especially in the big companies, which we will be discussing in the next session. Then of course to use this infrastructure, we have the user interface at the top of that. What kind of user interface are possible. There are a number of possibilities are there, but we will discuss few of these possibilities. So this is the structure. I thought I should first explain this. What we are going to do in this week in this session, and then also we have cyber security as a very important layer, which is cut across all layers. Whether it is a OT layer, we have to apply cyber security. We have to consider cyber security consideration in all these layers. So this is very important layer. So I have drawn based on this architecture a simplified version for your convenience to understand which are all these layers are there. This is a simple interpretation of that McKinsey framework, which I have just explained. Nothing additional, only pictorially it is being shown a little differently. So you can go through yourself. Like we are going to discuss here the user interfaces today in this session, and then we will start discussing about the API. These two things we are going to discuss in this session. What is user interface? I think user interface we all know about that. As long as we use a smartphone or when we access the smartphone, this is through an interface. Whether you are using, suppose you like to go to the map, Google Map, this is a user interface. So we will see that what kind of interface are possible. So if we like to define the meaning of the interface, I have jotted down some of the definitions or some examples kind of things. Provide human-friendly access to information and control. Human-friendly access. The word is human-friendly access. That we have to keep in mind. KPIs and alerts, these are also interfaces, they are alerts. Like, in the factory environments, alerts are very important. Where there is any important event or something happened wrong, the alerts are being generated. That is also very important. Then handle identity and access, this is also very important to interface. So there are many interfaces, which we are going to discuss some of them, and some examples are given over here. So this is one very important interface, which we like to avail the facility of Uber or Ola, and we always use this kind of, the interface on our phone when we want to book the cab, or we want to track the cab, or we want to check the price like that. So this is one kind of interface. I thought I will just explain you. I'll show you this. This is another interface, like, if we are using, Salesforce.com. Salesforce.com is an enterprise system. It comes with a lot of, functionalities and facilities. If we like to use facilities like, work order, or we want to see that, asset for the, so if there is some option we are using in the Salesforce.com or SAP R3 kind of application, or some other application, and whatever is being shown on the screen, that is being called the user interface. User interface. Why we call it user interface? One of the important thing of the user interface is that we interact with the backend system. Salesforce is a comprehensive software system. Now we are interacting, with the backend system with the help of this interface. It should be easy. It should be quite, we should be comfortable using this interface. So that's why we call it interface, user interface. So this is second example of user interface. Third example is also I have taken from the Salesforce.com itself. So this is another example where we like to know, like you are a sales executive, you want to know what is the sales in pipeline, what is the inventory available, you like to know the consumption, like that. You want to have certain, details, as per the need of your profession, or as per the need of your role. So system provide you but the backend applications are different. This interface is only giving the outcome of those backend applications. So keep this thing in mind. We cannot say that this is a system. This is an application. This is only interface. This system my team has developed in Bharat Petroleum, where the general manager and operation in charge used to have the details, what is happening last 24 hours. Like he wants to know that how we are performing as per the government commitments, MOU we call them, what is the production level, is there any accident, what is the accident level, that is what, and then supply chain, how much, intake of the crude, that is the raw material we have received, how much we have dispatched the finished products. So this kind of, information which is coming from the backend system is very useful for anybody or any company or anybody who is using this system. So interface development, designing and development become a critical aspect of architecture considerations of Industry 4.0. This is another interface of we are measuring that efficiency, manufacturing efficiency through some KPIs. So I think you will have got the idea about what you mean by interface. The interface is the media to interact with the backend applications, backend application, which we will be studying in the next session. Now we come to the very important aspect, and little difficult to understand sometimes, but I will try to as simple as possible, this API microservices and API service platform. In this session, we will study what is the API and microservices, and then what is the gateway, API gateway. And then in the next session, we will try to, using this knowledge of APIs and API microservices, we will try to explore what is the meaning or what is the use of API service platform. What is API? The question comes, what is API? It is called, full form is Application Programming Interface. And what is microservices? So hold a minute, we are going to learn these both very useful technologies, piece of technologies, on which the success of most of the projects lies nowadays. Definition here is standardized how internal and external application exchange data, secure monitor traffic gateways. So one of the important aspect of API is that it set the standards to exchange data from receiving and sending and receiving. And there are some technologies, there are methodologies, which we will be also seeing. One of the methodology or technology is called REST API. Now, again, I brought this picture over here, and just to give you a feel that to integrate all these applications or requirements in a comprehensive integrated environment, the API gateways are one of the best technology, and which we will be learn trying to see that how it will work. Now, it's a simple depiction of the old way of connecting and the new way of connecting. In the old way of connecting, we call it point-to-point connections, point-to-point connections. Like, if you want to connect, enterprise resource planning with the factory system, MES is a factory system, we want to get some data, or whatever we want to use some of the application over here, we have to write the interface, we have to write, practically we have to write, we have to program it, While, and if we want to get some information from HR system to the CRM system, we have to write an interface, we have to write a program. But in case of API, we have pre-written interfaces, which called application programming interface. We have to just provide some parameters. And this application programming interface work in such a way it can be reused. It is just like a book which can be used by any number of guys, but here it can be used simultaneously also, concurrently also. So there is a piece of program which 3 or 4 system wants to use that, but they have the parameter requirement different. They can use that, they can call that program and they can use that. It's called API in Microsoft. So API, application programming interface, will facilitate that kind of interaction. So here the advantages are simplify integration architecture and reduce complexity and enhance scalability. These are the 2 important aspects. That's why most of the companies today never go for this point-to-point connection. They are more or less now use the API gateways, which we are going to learn that what all call. The earlier software industry for integration mostly using either point-to-point or enterprise bus. This is again old architecture which was very popular. Still some of the companies, or I'll say large number of companies, are using the service oriented architecture where we use a methodology or a mechanism of service bus, enterprise service bus, which is a quite technical subject. Like all the companies like IBM, Microsoft, they have their proprietary enterprise bus. And they have this bus, for using of this bus, this technology, there are certain rules, which are proprietary rules. There is no common protocols as such. So if you are using, suppose the IBM enterprise bus, then it is very difficult to migrate to the Microsoft enterprise bus. You may have to write completely rewrite the whole thing. So this is one of the challenge in case of when you adopt enterprise service bus in your company. If you like to migrate to some other kind of software or some other platform, it becomes challenge. Second thing, because it's a common bus, and if there is a lot of load is coming, the bus may get choked. It may slow down the traffic. That is, and that's why in some of the companies you must have seen, like when we use the banking systems, because still most of the banking systems are running in the in old architecture, where they are using enterprise service bus. So sometimes we find that the response become very slow, and this is one of the reasons that response become very slow, that they are using. Once they migrate to application API interface gateways, which we are going to learn, then probably this kind of problems may be less. Then what is API? What is API? So the first statement say that pre-API challenges, monolithic systems, tightly coupled code bases made scaling difficult. Direct database access risky, insecure. This is another very important point to be noted, that in case of point-to-point connection, we are directly touching the database, which sometimes may cause problem to the database itself. It can create that instability to the database, because suppose there is an interface which you are using is having some bug, and this bug is going to affect that that database software, then it may be you may get a wrong result, or you may create some other kind of problem in the system. So this is also has been noticed that when we were using point-to-point or enterprise bus, the problems sometimes are created by the interfaces itself, not by the system. While in case of API, this problem has been solved. This is a decoupling system, separate front end and back end, enabling teams to work independently, which we'll see in a moment, how the teams can work independently. Similar kind of routine, or we call it microservices in fact, and same microservices can be used by multiple people simultaneously, concurrently. That is the beauty of APIs. Quite secure, or I'll say that the API, the security consideration in the API way of integration is much better as compared to earlier. API enable different systems application to interact and exchange data seamlessly. So one of the important aspect of API, which we are going to see with the example. Let me show the example. You can see the example here on the Uber platform. API gateway is being used, and with the help of API gateway, millions of guys are getting notifications. Millions of guys are getting notification through same gateway. So same gateway which is running on their central server, or maybe in distributed environment or different countries, because the load is very high. So that is what like you want to order some which was earlier available in our country. I think they are not giving this facility, but in some other country it is there. I recently visited Europe, it was there, that you can order the food from the restaurants and Uber will come and deliver that. So these are all facilities are working on the same system with the help of API gateways, which we will learn a little in more detail shortly. Another analogy which I have written over here in this slide, you can see restaurant menu. You request a dish, the kitchen prepare, and you don't need to know how it is being done. Earlier, if we want to connect something, we have to learn the system to which we want to connect, and we should also know ins and out of our the system from where we want to send the data. So this is a lot of knowledge was required earlier, but now a novice person can use APIs, which we will see in the next session. As such, most of the companies provide these API facilities. They have API gateway libraries. They have exposed their APIs to the outside world. Even internally also they are exposed to their staff, and they can use all those API using the reference of the catalog of their API library. This is a depiction of technology, how the API is working in terms of the technology. This is a very common interface, REST API, we call it REST API. It has 4 milestone: get, post, put and delete. If you see here, this is called the client. Client is sending data to the server or receiving data from the server. How it will work? The client uses a standard HTTP. We all know about HTTP. Retrieve data, create data, update data and remove data. These are the function of this client. And what is the function of the REST API? This layer middle cloud icon, the REST API act as a middleware between the client and the server. Suppose a client wants to have a GET. So REST API will help to get the data from the server. Client wants to post it. REST API will help to client to post on the server. So this work as a bridge. REST API layer middle cloud icon, it defined endpoints, and it will check all the correctness of the packets which are being sent, receiving and sending both. It receives the HTTP request from the client and route to the right server. There may be multiple servers, not 1 or 2 servers. There are millions of servers. In case of Google and all these companies, they have thousands and millions of servers. So this request is to which server? That is the API. REST API gateway will direct to the right server, because they have the addresses of all those servers, in their repository, in their library, and they use JSON, JavaScript object notation. Some of you who knows about JSON, you may be knowing that this kind of script one has to use while writing the REST API interface. This is another picture which I have borrowed from this site, which is showing the API gateway functionality. So anyway, that what you have seen earlier was also some kind of API gateway. So here it is being shown little more explicitly, like API gateway not only receiving and sending, it also doing the translation of HTTP request which is being sent. Protocol translation etc. is being done, at the API gateway itself. So, this if somebody wants to learn more about how this API gateway function, I will recommend to go through this site and explore the more details about this. In this picture, I have seen that I have shown the microservices, which is another part of this API interface. What is microservice? Let us understand first the microservice. You are seeing here, suppose there is a company which has system to calculate the different kind of taxes, and taxes applied in different goods, different situations, different kind of customers, some or different products, because if there are a number of products, the tax levels may be different. So, this company, these applications, there are two methods of using this application. One is that in the conventional manner, you write for the every tax kind of calculation for every product, a new interface. But if you have publish the interfaces in terms of microservices, microservices for income tax, microservice for GST, microservices for excise, and microservice for custom, which you are seeing over here. And then what are the context of using these microservices of excise for warehouse or bond management, whatever clearance. These kind of, when you are writing, when you are dealing with this tax system, you can call these microservices through API gateway, and it will do the required calculation, require computing for your benefit, for the benefit of that application. So, you need not to access the entire big application, but you have to, you can, with the help of microservices network, microservices, there is a catalog which is being advertised over here, which microservice you like to use, and you can use interchangeably, concurrently, all these microservices in your application, which we will learn further when we will see how India stack is working in our country, in the next session. This is another broad picture looking at the much higher level. So, you can also have a look on this. I have given 2-3 other examples. One is the example of Indigo Airlines. Indigo Airlines is having access to the kind of Flipkart, Make My Trip. These are all the partners of the Indigo Airlines, Easy Trip, PhonePe, Paytm, PayPal, they are the partners of Indigo. While using Indigo platform, when we go and book the tickets, or when these partners also interface with Indigo, whether the flight is available and what is the cost of that, or what is the cost of that. So, they interface with the Indigo system with the help of API gateway. API gateway, you can see here how it is being interfaced. API call flight, like there is a flight search microservice, there is a booking microservice, there is a booking microservice, payment microservice, notification microservice. So, whenever you like to do the flight search, the microservice will be invoked, and then a call will be made through API to the central system, and central system will give the reply whether the flight is available or what kind of, which all flights are available, like that. So, this is the way API gateway function. Most of these companies are have implemented API gateway mechanism to provide the connectivity to their partners. Even for their internal staff also they are using API gateway. This is a factory environment you can go through. This is another interface I have shown over here how the API is working in a factory environment. So, friends, I have come to the end of this session, and I like to end this session with a very important learning and an important event which took place a few years back to make use of API in Amazon as a de facto standards. And their CEO said if his staff will not use the APIs, instead of they will use still that the individual code to access the facilities or access data, they will be fired. They will be fired. And what is what advantage they got? It is what advantage got? The speed of execution, speed of innovations are crucial there. Chief technology officers write like this in this one of the news item which was published few years back, not 2002. This is a very popular example which sometimes we give while teaching the API, that how important is the API for the especially the major companies like Amazon. The speed of execution, speed of innovations are crucial to Amazon business. This shift to APIs enable agility while giving us much better control over scaling, performance and reliability, as well as the cost of profile and each economy. So API is a very important technology, and I will recommend you to study this little in more detail, and I have given some references in my these slides. Very wonderful site of AWS Amazon, which gives a lot of information and how to use API on their website. Similarly, in the Google Cloud also give a lot of information about the API. You can make use of these two sites to know more about the subjects. Thank you very much. I hope that this session would have given you some good insight about first two elements of reference architecture of Industry 4.0. Thank you very much.